The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by W, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. W's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. W Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. Top of the morning to you. It is the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. We are live on Facebook, on social media, YouTube, Instagram, you name it, we're there, except for X because we are boycotting that place. Then, of course, we are also live on Roku via National Streaming Sports. Shout outs to our friends over at National Streaming Sports. Yesterday, you heard me on the National Professional Sports Show, 4 p.m. here in El Paso. Shout out to the people that are a part of this atmosphere, that tuned into that atmosphere, cross-promoting and doing all the cool stuff that we do. If you tuned into yesterday's show, you got to hear me be loud wrong, which happens a lot more often than what I would like to admit to. But you know what? I am the type of person that will own whenever I'm loud wrong. I shared the link. If you want to be in on the show, we're going to treat it like a call-in show today. That was me. That wasn't the ghost this time. We're going to treat it like a call-in show today. So you want to call in, basically, click the link, be a part of the show. I'll give you a couple of minutes. You give me your hottest sports takes, and we go on our happy little way. I'll be sharing that comment or that link out various times throughout the show if people want to be a part of it. Now, yesterday I said on the National Professional Sports Show, talking about the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks, that there was no way in hell, none, that the New York Knickerbockers were going to win a game because the Boston Celtics missed a ton of threes. The Boston Celtics in Game 1 missed an NBA record 45 three-pointers in that game, and that was what ultimately helped to their demise, blowing a 20-point lead. Fast forward to last night. The New York Knicks on the road in Boston. Boston, a 20-point lead. It's all starting to feel so familiar once again, isn't it? The Boston Celtics jacking up three after three after three. They didn't miss 45 this time. Luckily for them, they didn't miss 45 3-pointers this time. No. I was right in that aspect. But they wound up missing 30 3-pointers. 30 3-pointers is what the Boston Celtics missed, going 10 of 40 in the game that they needed to win. You need to win at least one game at home. That's always how it goes, right? If you lose game one, you got to win game two. Because now, if you're down 2-0 and the Knicks are up 2-0, history shows us that the Knicks have an 85.6% chance of winning this series, beating the Boston Celtics, who just seemingly can't make a effing 3-pointer. Our guy Tommy Canazza saying, what's good, Tip? What's good, Tommy? Hope that you are having yourself a fantastic day today. I'm going to go back and find out. I'm going to mess around and find out. That's what I'm doing. I won't let me go back that far. Well, I'm going to do it right now. We're going to go over the Boston Celtics schedule because I think that they're like 15 of 20 or 15 of 100 in shooting 3-pointers this offseason or this postseason. There's that game. Riveting stuff, I know. 25 of 100. They're shooting 25%. 25 of 100 is what the Boston Celtics are shooting 3-pointers. 25 of 100. Augustine Pimentel saying, finally, a good shirt. Got to give a shout out to the American Outlaws of El Paso. I'm trying my best, Augustine. I am trying my best. We're getting into soccer, getting ever so close to the World Cup. You already know my goal of we're going to watch a game in 3 different countries for the World Cup in North America. So I'm doing my thing. We've been covering the El Paso Locomotive. Diego's been doing a fantastic job over there. Ada has been doing a great job covering the El Paso Chihuahuas. Augustine saying Boston should be ashamed of itself. They should be. They should be. Mireya Reyes saying, great hat, go Miners. There we go. Supporting the local teams here. Tommy Canazza giving a little bit of love to the Crooked Commish. Augustine saying the Champions League final is going to be amazing. I'm going to have to do a little more research on that. Find out what teams are actually playing because I haven't been paying attention to that. I've been paying more attention to MLS and the USL. I'm trying, Augustine. I'm trying my best. I only have so much bandwidth that I can do. But the Boston Celtics sitting here now, 25 of 100 from 3-point land. And they've lost both of these games by a total of 4 points. You've lost 2 games at home by 4 points. PSG versus Inter. Which Inter? Inter Miami? I hope it's Inter Miami. I know it's not Inter Miami. I'm messing with you. Paris Saint-Germain. 91-90 was the final score yesterday after having a 20-point lead in a game once again. Back-to-back games, the Boston Celtics have a 20-point lead, and they wind up just crapping the bed. I was going to say something else. Crapping the bed doesn't make it as it doesn't make it as prominent as what I want it to be, saying crap in the bed. And I have to learn how to not censor myself on Roku here. Shout out to Roku. Shout out to National Stream of Sports for allowing us to do this silly nonsense here. Okay. USA. Getting back into the Boston Celtics mindset here. The Boston Celtics defense or default on offense is to shoot threes, despite having wide open lanes where you can get in and get a layup. They went 8 minutes in this game without a bucket. 8 minutes in this game without a bucket. They finally get one. It's Jason Tatum. I want to say it was a dunk. Look at that. You actually made it to the rim, and good things happen. They go 8 minutes in this game without getting a damn basket. The Knicks take the lead. That dunk gives them the lead back. So that means you blew a 20-point lead yet again, because what you're doing is settling for three-pointer after three-pointer after three-pointer. Shout out to Will Heron and Laura Mercedes, who tuned in over on Instagram. Thank you all so much for tuning in over there. Once again, we are on all the various social medias. The Boston Celtics are proving the point that a lot of people, especially the old heads, have of you live and die by the three. It's such a boring game. It's this, that, blah, 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 blah. And let's not make it seem as though the Knicks played so much better, as though the Knicks were on fire from shooting as well. They went 9 for 30 from three. They shot 29% from three. A total of 10 free throws for the Knicks, 15 free throws for the Boston Celtics. 25 total free throws in this game. And both teams shot 71 three-pointers combined. And somehow, some way, the final score ends up being 91-90. You would expect with that type of shooting, those types of numbers, of those types of shots going up, that you would make something. Hell, it's not dropping from three. Let me step in just a little bit and see what happens here. Jason Tatum played 42 minutes. This is a guy that a ton of people have had as a MVP type candidate, as someone who can be the face of the league. Jason Tatum, 42 minutes, 13 points, 5 of 19 shooting, 1 of 5 from three. He had 13 or 14 boards, so good for him. 3 turnovers, a couple of assists, a couple of blocks, a steal. Jaylen Brown, 41 minutes, 20 points. Derek White, 40 minutes, 20 points. Drew Holiday, 34 minutes, 10 points. Al Horford, 30 minutes and 4 points. This is your starting lineup giving you absolutely nothing. Kristaps Porzingis, 7'3", the unicorn. You can't find a position for him to play for more than 14 minutes? Or is it Joe Mazzulla not being able to make in-game adjustments and bring the best lineup onto the team? You went 8 minutes without scoring. You could have brought in somebody. Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, Kristaps Porzingis, just anybody to try to get something going for you. Instead, you rocked with that same lineup, and we've seen it happen now 3 or 4 times in the NBA playoffs where a coach just wants to have the same lineup out there for the vast majority of the second half. These guys playing 28 minutes in the second half or something like that, just to lose and shite the bed. That's exactly what happened with the Boston Celtics here. The Boston Celtics are an absolutely horrible example of what happens whenever you just go cold from three. I thought, and maybe that's why I'm sounding over here so passionate about it, I thought that this team would be better. I thought that this team would actually be worth watching yesterday. And again, they get out to an early lead. They had a 20-point lead. And the thing with them is they just find a way to get absolutely cold and blow this lead. It baffles my mind. It genuinely does. It baffles my mind of how this team was a champion last year, because they played the exact same way. And then I had to think about it. I had to pull it back and remember, they played teams last year that were hurt. Whenever they played Miami, Jimmy Butler was hurt the majority of that series. Whenever they played Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard were both hurt in those series. Whenever they played Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton was hurt in that series. Then they make it to the NBA Finals. They beat Luka and the Mavericks, who, quite frankly, didn't deserve to be there because they weren't really the best team in the West, but ultimately they won the series that they needed to win. Boston had an easy road to a championship last year. And this year, the Knicks aren't even – I cannot say that the Knicks are going to be a team that wins the championship. I find them to be so flawed that they can't win a championship. But they're beating the defending, reigning champion in the Boston Celtics. Tommy Canasta saying, hey, my bad, Tommy, my bad. Look, I'm just saying it as it is. Even though the Mavericks made it, it's not like all of us thought that maybe the Mavs are going to be the team that ultimately wins the NBA Finals last year, right? Like, they were a team that, yes, they earned their way there, but did they really deserve being there? Once again, I want to share the link one more time. Y'all want to get in on the show? It's not a it's not a TIP VIP Friday, but I just want to have more reaction here. Tommy Constance saying, I thought they were going to win. It's real to me. The Boston Celtics, to me, are, I don't want to say a fraudulent champion. I don't want to say a fraudulent champion because it takes a lot. The ball has to bounce your way. The sun has to shine on a dog's ass every now and then in order for you to get to where you got to be to win a championship, right? I totally and wholeheartedly agree that sometimes you got to earn your way to the championship. But they were given such an easy path last year that this year they're getting punched in the mouth and they have no idea how to handle this. There's an 85.6% chance that the defending champion is going to lose to the New York Knicks of all teams. And maybe I'm just saying it that way because maybe I'm a Knicks hater. I didn't realize that I was a Knicks hater, right? Grew up in the 90s hating the New York Knicks, and maybe that just extends all the way through to where I am right now as a grown-ass adult in my 40s, trying to relive my glory days, thinking to myself, Jordan would never diminish in a game like Jason Tatum did. Jordan would never. And it gets me thinking about who's the face of the NBA now, right? Minor Mike saying New Yorkers love it. That's right, them New Yorkers are loving it right now because they're being discounted, right? Again, like I said this yesterday on the National Professional Sports Show here on Roku with National Stream of Sports. I said it yesterday. The Pacers are a team that's playing with no pressure on them. There's no pressure on the Pacers at all. I feel like the Knicks are the same way. And we are this close to getting a New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers Eastern Conference final because Cleveland looks like they can't hold on to a lead and they crumble under pressure left and right. Boston, we've seen already, has blown 2 20-point leads. You cannot trust this team late in the games. So what do you do? An 85.6% chance that we are going to get the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference final. And no, we're not talking Patrick Ewing versus Reggie Miller. None of that stuff. Reggie Miller giving the choke sign to Spike Lee on the sidelines or any of that nonsense. We're not getting that. We're getting Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton, and maybe, just maybe, it brings it back to like a nostalgia act for those of us that grew up in the 90s, right? Minor Mike, Tommy, Augustine, maybe even the Crooked Commish, hearkening back to those days of where we get to see Reggie Miller, and God bless it, that's going to be so annoying because you know that if it winds up being the Knicks and the Pacers in the Eastern Conference final, that all we're going to get is just bashed over the head. with Reggie Miller did this. Reggie Miller did this in 8 seconds or whatever against the New York Knicks. Gary Bryant saying, what's going on, Tip? TC915, Crooked Commish, Augustine. What's going on? Gary Bryant, hope you're having yourself a great day. Hope you caught some of those basketball games last night. We are talking about the Boston Celtics blowing a lead to, I'm assuming, what is your New York Knicks. Gary, what are your thoughts on that? The Knicks come back in the second straight game, game 2 here. The Knicks come back after being down by 20-plus in order to come back and win this game against the erstwhile Boston Celtics, who cannot hit a three-pointer in crunch time to save their life. They are currently 25 of 100 from 3. 25 of 100 from three-point land. They had 94 shots yesterday, and 40 of those shots were three-pointers. Oh, God, they're bad. I'm going to try to do some quick math right here. We take 40 from 95, that gives you 54. You take 10 away from 34, that gives you 24. 24 of 54. That's just under 40-some-odd%. So let me try to do some quick math here with that. 44%. 44%. The Celtics were shooting from the field outside of the three-pointers. 44% the Celtics were shooting from the field outside of three-pointers. Take a couple of steps in and shoot a damn mid-range jumper. I feel like an old man here saying this stuff. I feel like I'm going back to being get-off-my-lawn guy with this stuff. If you're shooting 25% from 3, you're not going to win a game. You're not going to win a series. It's just so damn annoying to think of it that way. That you're shooting that bad, and you keep just shooting that way. And again, it's not like the Knicks were shooting lights out themselves, but they actually shot less three-pointers, which means they shot more of the two-point buckets, and they were able to go in. Both teams basically had an 8-man rotation, and it was just it was an ugly, sloppy game. It reminded you of watching basketball back in the 90s, which I was happy with. But the Boston Celtics are so frustrating and so infuriating with the way that they're playing basketball right now that I hope they lose. I came into this series. I don't care who wins this series. I don't have a connection to either team. Neither team matters to me in the long run. But what I can say is, after watching these last 2 games with the Boston Celtics, I hope it's a sweep for the Knicks. I am tired of watching the Boston Celtics play ugly, horrible basketball. Take a damn step in and make a mid-range jumper. All the white in my beard shows that I like a mid-range jumper. Gary Bryant saying, I'm good with the Knicks being up 2-0. I hate the way the Celtics are playing. I like Boston, but only because of Joe Mazzulla. I like New York more, though. All dogs. There's something about that, right? Like, the Knicks have a different passion that they're playing with that I don't think the Boston Celtics are playing with. The Boston Celtics thought this was going to be easy, just like it was last year. They had all of their easy road to get to where they wanted to be, and they got to feel okay about it, right? And now they're just having themselves, they get punched in the mouth, and they don't know how to react. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys a lot yesterday. That was what happened with the Dallas Cowboys last year. Got punched in the mouth, didn't know how to react to it. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, and then you got to adjust. The Celtics were shooting threes. They get punched in the mouth, and they say, you know what, instead of protecting my face, I'm going to keep shooting threes and get punched in the mouth. And ultimately, they lose the game. They went 8 minutes without scoring a damn bucket, and they lose that game. Deservedly so. They lost that game. Man, I'm heated. I don't even care about these teams, and I'm heated just watching bad basketball. I love basketball so much that whenever I watch bad basketball, it really and genuinely upsets me. And the Boston Celtics yesterday, and I'm not taking anything away from the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks did what they had to do. They went into Boston. They win 2 straight games. But I'm sitting here watching this game, and I'm getting so frustrated watching it. Minor Mike saying, Tip, you are preaching this morning. I'm heated, man. Like I said, I'm watching this game. It's not because I was wrong. I'll admit it a bunch of times. I'll say it again here for the audience that wasn't here earlier that didn't get to hear me say this. On the National Professional Sports Show last night, yesterday evening, I said that I didn't think the Boston Celtics were going to miss an NBA record 45 threes. I thought that they would be halfway better. I thought you couldn't shoot worse than what they did. And what do? They come out and they shoot the exact same percentage. You went 15 of 60 in game 1 from deep. 15 of 60, 25%. And you follow that up with 10 of 40 in game 2. In both games, you had a 20-point lead. And all you had to do was make a bucket. A bucket. Not a three-pointer, just a bucket, a free throw. Get to the line. Do something. That's all you had to do to put this game on ice. And you still couldn't do it because your default is step back 3. I love basketball, guys. I don't care what the game is now. If Steph Curry turned it into a 3-point shooting contest, whenever you can make them at the level Steph Curry can make them, at the level Buddy Hield was making it in game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, whenever you can make 3-pointers at that type of level, then you're doing something fantastic. It's an art form. It really is. It genuinely is. I love watching that art form. But whenever it's not falling for you, whenever you're going 10 of 40, maybe change it up a little bit. Your entire identity shouldn't be, we're just going to hoist up threes no matter what. We're winning by 20 points, and we're still going to shoot threes. It's insane to me. Gary Bryant saying, in the playoffs, the game shrinks to a lot of half-court sets where every possession matters. The Celtics are playing regular season hoops in the playoffs, and it's not working right now. He also goes on to say they have no inside presence in a half-court set. It's dribble penetration, kick out to a guy, camping out at the three-point line. It's boring basketball. I agree with you on that. It's boring basketball. It genuinely is boring basketball. And for me, it's one simple in-game adjustment that they could have made twice. You did this to yourself twice. The first time, I can see it being like, oh, okay, you know what? We messed up. We'll adjust. We'll come back. It's almost like having that one friend that gets so drunk, they're belligerently drunk and sloppy, and you go out and drink with them, and you're like, God, I hate this effing guy. And then he apologizes to you, and you're like, oh, okay, it'll be okay the next time we hang out. Then you hang out with him again, and he's, again, just a sloppy, disgusting drunk, making a bad day for everybody. And he doesn't change at all, but he keeps apologizing. Guys, I'll be better next time, I promise. What? I promise I'll get better next time. That's what the Boston Celtics are. A sloppy, disgusting drunk who doesn't get better. That was kind of mean. I feel like I was talking about myself there for a minute too, but I'm not sloppy. I'm disgusting, but I'm not sloppy. Gary Bryant saying the series isn't over, though. The Knicks have to get one at the Garden. Again, I'll agree with you. It's not over. There's an 85.6% chance that the Knicks win this series, which means there's a 14.4% chance that the Celtics can come back. So it's happened before. Tommy Canazza saying that was kind of mean, Tip. I apologize, Tommy. It wasn't aimed at anybody, but we all have that friend. We all have that friend. Sloppy ass drunk. And if you don't have that friend, it's time to look in the mirror. You're going to make that friend up. The Crooked Commissioner saying, but Mike, I'll be better next time, bro. Don't give up on me. LOL. I will never give up on y'all the same way that I will never give up on Just the Tip.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just a Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Visit www.myhappynuts.com/Mike Tipton and save on all your male grooming needs. I'm going to be working on a new commercial so we can play that at the end of the show, maybe even at the beginning of the show. Guys, the summer's coming up. You don't want to be all swampy. You don't want to be gross. You don't want to be that guy. Take care of yourself. Take care of your boys. Make sure that your nuts are as happy as my nuts with www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. I'm not going to use that segue. Jesus Christ, Tip. What the hell is wrong with you? The Denver Nuggets have themselves a game yesterday that was just bad. It was hard to watch. The Denver Nuggets yesterday. Augustine Pimentel using his hashtag #BeSwampy. That is Augustine's favorite thing in the world. The S in Augustine stands for swamp ass. I'm sorry, Augustine. I'm not. But if you want to be swampy, that's all on you, my guy. I will, you do you, boo-boo. I'll be over here being nice and so fresh and so clean with my happiest of nuts. Now, going back to what was said a little bit earlier about the Denver Nuggets, I get a message yesterday from Augustine Pimentel talking about this game. And I'm watching the game too, and I'm just baffled. My mind is blown on how you give up 87 points in one half. 87 points in the first half of a game. Like, it's done. At halftime, this game was done. I watched until maybe halfway through the fourth quarter, and I kept thinking to myself, why on God's green earth am I watching this damn game? Knowing to myself that there was no way in hell it was going to get close. The Denver Nuggets ultimately lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder by 43 points. The Oklahoma City Thunder, whenever they win games, they win them big. But I'm not taking too much out of this, right? Like, I know Augustine yesterday was of the mindset of when you get these young teams, if you're fat and out of shape, or if you're old and fat and out of shape, they're just going to run you off the court. And I don't think that that's necessarily what happened here, right? Like, you saw in game one how dominant Nikola Jokic was. It just wasn't falling for anybody with the Denver Nuggets yesterday, and their defense was bad. Tommy Canasta saying OKC is back. I mean, if you're gonna like, it's hard for me to say you win by 43 points that you got to look out for something. But they did what they had to do. So did Denver. Let's not forget this, right? Denver did what they had to do. They split on the road. If Denver can win at home or even split on the road, or at home rather, that's what you kind of want them to do. Win one game at home, lose one game at home. That would be worst case scenario for both teams. Win one game on the road, lose one game on the road is best case or worst case scenario best case scenario for both teams. If you lose both of them though, then you've got a problem, like the Knicks, like the Cavaliers. Then you have a problem. Or like the Celtics, rather, and the Cavaliers. Then you have a problem if you're losing both of those games. The Thunder, like this is going to be a fun series. I think that the Timberwolves and the Warriors is going to be a fun series as well. I think this one's going to be more fun, despite what we saw yesterday. I don't think all the games are going to be blowouts of 43 points in favor of the Oklahoma City Thunder, just the same way that I don't believe that the Denver Nuggets are going to be blowing out the Oklahoma City Thunder either, right? Like there might be a game where the Thunder lose by 20, but that's just because that's how basketball goes every now and again. These teams are so evenly matched up, but if it becomes a long, drawn-out series, 6 games, 7 games, that's going to be in favor of the Denver Nuggets. And yesterday again on the National Professional Sports Show, my guy Keith Engel, who comes on Roku right before I do with TGI Sports, every morning, 7 o'clock here in El Paso, 9 o'clock Eastern. He says that Oklahoma City, they were battle tested last year, even though they lost to the Dallas Mavericks. They got their ass kicked, and now they're trying to find a way where they can redeem themselves, right? Like their learning curve has already happened for them. Shout out to Tallboy_6 who tuned in over on Instagram. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I am a firm believer in thinking that there's still these learning curves that have to happen. And if there's a team that's going to give you the learning curve, it's going to be the Denver Nuggets. They're not going to lose another game by 43 points. I shouldn't even say that because I said that the Celtics weren't going to miss 45 three-pointers, and they still shot 25% from three. So maybe I'm just wrong. But I feel like there's no way in hell, none, that the Nuggets are going to lose by 46 points again. I don't 43 points again. I don't see this as like going to be the trend. Denver is too proud. They have a championship caliber team. Remember, 4 of their 5 starters won the championship 2 years ago. 2 years ago. We're not talking about a team that hasn't won a championship since 2020, like we were with the LA Lakers. Like, oh, this team's going to be okay because they won a championship 5 years ago. No, we're talking about a champion 2 years ago. 2 years ago with the Denver Nuggets. I don't feel like it's going to be a quick series. I at least don't feel like it's going to go 5 games. I feel like it's going to go the full 7. And that's going to favor the Denver Nuggets because they just came out of a 7-game series with the LA Clippers. They're a battle-tested team with a championship background. That matters. That means something, at least in the NBA. I know it doesn't in football as well. I know it does in hockey as well, that whenever you're the championship caliber team, you know how to handle your business. I feel like Denver is going to be able to handle their business. I feel like they're going to bounce back from this one. But let's not take anything away from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I feel is going to be not named the MVP. I feel like it's going to be Nikola Jokic now. Jokic is the best player in the NBA. But let's not take anything away from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had 34 points last night in just 30 minutes, went 11 of 13 from the field. 2 3-pointers, all he shot, 2 3-pointers. 11 from the free throw line for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander yesterday. They didn't even need him. I mean, we had Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace, AJ Mitchell playing in these games, and they were getting minutes, guys. Like, this game was done. The whole second half was just bench dudes. Oklahoma City went out there. They beat the dog shit. Sorry, Roku. They beat the hell out of the Denver Nuggets. And they did what they had to do. They won a game at home. I can't wait for game 3 in Denver. I can't wait for game 2 tonight in Minnesota with the Timberwolves taking on the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to look up to see who the favorites are in these games because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Minnesota again. Yeah, Minnesota, a 10.5-point favorite. I know Steph Curry's out of the game, but I feel like once again they're disrespecting the Golden State Warriors. I would put money on the Golden State Warriors to cover that spread. That's too much of a spread. Too much of a spread. Man. Are the Warriors in trouble? I think that's a genuine question that needs to be asked. Are the Warriors in trouble? And where does the pressure lie in this series, right? Like, I think with the Denver and Oklahoma City series, The pressure is evenly disputed. Both teams have something they need to prove. Oklahoma City has the best record in the NBA. They have to win, and they have to make it to the NBA Finals. It can't just be we got to make it to the Western Conference Finals. They have to make it to the NBA Finals and win. Whenever you're that much better than everyone else, you have to win it all. Otherwise, it was just a waste of a season. So they have pressure on them to win there. Denver, you just fired your head coach for all these other reasons. You have the MVP. You have the championship caliber team here. You have to win for legacy purposes, right? Nikola Jokic retires with one championship. It'll be a letdown of a career given how many MVPs and how good he actually is. He needs more than one championship. It's all about legacy building now for the Denver Nuggets. So to me, there's an equal amount of pressure on these teams here. When you look at Minnesota Golden State, I feel like there's no pressure on Golden State. None at all. You were a play-in tournament team. You were lucky to beat the Houston Rockets in the eyes of a lot of people. Yes, you have Steph Curry. Yes, you have Draymond Green. Yes, you have Jimmy Butler. You have a championship background as well. It's only been 3 years since they won a championship in 2022. So we look at it, who has the pressure on them? And I feel like the pressure is starting to mount on Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, given the nickname the Legend Killer, last year beats Nikola Jokic in the NBA in the Western Conference, right? This year beats LeBron James and Luka Doncic in the Western Conference. They start having the memes out there. Randy Orton giving the moniker of the Legend Killer to Anthony Edwards. If he cannot beat a Golden State Warriors team that doesn't have Steph Curry on it, then Anthony Edwards isn't that Legend Killer. Then Anthony Edwards isn't living up to the hype and the expectation on him. I was listening to a sports show earlier today, and they were talking about face of the league type stuff. Is Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA? Is it Jason Tatum? Who's the face of the NBA? And right now I say it's not either of those guys. It's Nikola Jokic, right? Like that's the guy who's the face of the NBA. If Anthony Edwards wants to be in that conversation, don't get me wrong, you know from last series, I love me some Anthony Edwards. But if Anthony Edwards wants to be in that conversation, he's got some work that needs to be done. Anthony Edwards is a great basketball player. But if they struggle for the next week or so against the Golden State Warriors that don't have Steph Curry because of a hamstring strain, then the questions have to be asked. Is he the best player in the NBA? Is he the guy that everyone thinks he's going to be? For all intents and purposes, they should come out tonight and smack the hell out of the Golden State Warriors. I just don't think it's going to happen. Because the Golden State Warriors have Jimmy Butler, who carried the dead body of the Miami Heat to an NBA Finals twice. Once in the bubble and once against the Denver Nuggets in 2023. I am surprised, time and time again, surprised that we are so quick to crown someone as like the next guy of the league, the next face of the league, without them doing anything. And I get the pushback of, Tip, he's only 23 years old. I totally get it. I'm not the one that's making the narrative here of Anthony Edwards as the best. We'll get there, Tommy. Don't worry. As the best player in the NBA. But if we're going to put that nickname on him, then he's going to have to start living up to those expectations. He's going to have to start living up to those expectations. Tommy Canazzo's been itching for it, just fiending for it. Give me some more. Give me some more of that Dallas Cowboys talk, man. Give me a little more of that Dallas Cowboys talk. We need some football talk in this show. It's been 45 minutes of basketball, and you know me, in my veins. I love me some basketball. So I can talk about this all damn day. But Tommy Canazzo asked the question, enough NBA talk. Which NFC East team has the best wide receiver duo right now? And I say it's going to be between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And the only reason why I would give the Eagles a slight edge right now is because Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown have actually played games together. The Dallas Cowboys haven't played a game yet with George Pickens, and we know that ultimately at the end of the day, it's going to happen. George Pickens is going to have one of his classic meltdowns, right? I was asked yesterday, how do I feel about George Pickens being on the Dallas Cowboys? Like, am I okay with it? And I said, of course I'm okay with it. It gives the Dallas Cowboys what they needed, which was a second option at wide receiver. It helps out the offense with what they needed. It can't all just be CeeDee Lamb. So, of course, it helps out with them. And then the question shows up of, well, if he was complaining about targets in Pittsburgh, what's going to happen now that he's in Dallas? And I combat that with saying, well, in Pittsburgh, he was the only option. Whenever you're the number one guy, you expect to get targeted like the number one guy. He's going to come into Dallas and automatically be number two. He's not going to expect the ball a bunch of times. Now, what's going to happen is CeeDee Lamb is going to get doubled, and George Pickens is going to be able to have one-on-one matchups that are going to ultimately help him get better. Like I said yesterday, I don't think he's going to have a ton of receptions. I don't think he's going to have 100 receptions. That's going to be more for CeeDee Lamb. But if he winds up getting between 70 and 80 receptions, a bunch of yards because he's going to have the one-on-one coverage and a ton of touchdowns, he's going to be a happy guy. And then everyone kept asking me, well, Tip, what happens whenever he wants a contract extension? What happens whenever he wants a contract extension? There we go. That's what I was looking for. The 2026 financial summary for the Dallas Cowboys right now. The Dallas Cowboys have still around $37 million that they can spend in salary cap space. We can all say that that's going to more than likely go to some of the rookies that they got. A good chunk of that is going to go to Micah Parsons. The good thing for the Dallas Cowboys, though, is that they don't have any major free agents in 2026. None really in 2026. All of the Dallas Cowboys' major free agents come up in 2027. So if you can find a way to be competitive, and I think the Dallas Cowboys will find a way to be competitive, then I think that that's going to wind up being a benefit for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm looking to see who their free agent is coming up in 2026. They have a ton of free agents 2027. The only free agent the Dallas Cowboys have coming up this season is their safety Donovan Wilson, who's going to be 30 years old, and all he's making is $1.6 million this year anyway. The Dallas Cowboys are in a very lucky position. I didn't think of it this way because 2027, you only have DeMarvion Overshown, who I think you have to pay, Tyler Smith, who I think you have to pay, and maybe Awesome Richards, like you might want to keep him. Those are the only guys that I think you have to pay for the Dallas Cowboys. The only ones I think you would have to pay to keep them on your team. Everyone else, Malik Hooker is going to be 32 years old. Brian Anger, the punter, he's 40 years old by the time that comes up, so he's going to be gone. Solomon Thomas, who they just signed to a 2-year deal this year. Luke Schoonmaker, who they just signed who they've had for a couple of years. Jonathan Mingo hasn't really been that guy. Carlos Pimentel saying, yep, talking about the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are in a very good position right here to be able to sign Micah Parsons, get him to the deal that he needs to be at. I assure you that deal is going to be announced right before the season starts. That's just how Jerry likes it. They're going to be talking about it because that's what they need to do is talk about the Dallas Cowboys. That deal will be announced maybe the week before, if not the day of the season starting for the Dallas Cowboys. Tommy saying, what's up to Carlos? Carlos Pimentel is a Coral boy. We were hanging out this past Saturday at Ryan Woodcraft, a guy who has tuned into the show a bunch of times, asked a bunch of questions about Detroit basketball. That's exactly what I'm saying, Tommy. Pickens will be signed. You don't give up a third for a 1-year rental. Exactly. Pickens, to me, is going to be signed. And the Dallas Cowboys have the ability to do it. Once again, without having a whole bunch of anything, there's nobody other than Donovan Wilson, who the Dallas Cowboys have coming up as a free agent in 2026. For all of the guff, for all of the bull crap that the Dallas Cowboys get for Jerry Jones not making good deals, knowing that you have this entire core of players locked up through 2029 is kind of astonishing. Like it really is. You have 4 years of these guys being locked up, which means you're going to have some salary cap wiggle room in these next couple of years, because now you can probably, you can extend out contracts. You can restructure some contracts that will help you be where you need to be. Augustine Pimentel saying another Pimentel. That's right. Another Pimentel. Tommy Canazza saying he'll probably be franchised next year. At some point next year, he'll have a long-term deal. I agree with that. I also wouldn't be surprised if he has a long-term deal going into the season this year, just so that way you avoid all of the drama of what George Pickens can bring. You show him love, I'm sure he'll show you love, right? Like that's kind of the way that it goes. If you're George Pickens and you didn't have a good quarterback in Pittsburgh, of course you're going to make some noise. You want me to stay here in this situation, in this cold-ass weather place, in these terrible conditions, in this disgusting city known as Pittsburgh where nobody has teeth? You want me to stay here? Then you need to pay me. Oh, now I can be in a luxurious place like Dallas with this billion-dollar stadium? I'll be all right. I'll be cool. I get to be on primetime games even whenever the team is bad just because I'm a part of the Dallas Cowboys? Okay, I'm cool with that. We can do that. Maybe I'm being super optimistic. Maybe I'm being blinded by just my love of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't have one of my Dallas Cowboys hats here, so I wasn't able to put it on to be a mouthpiece for Jerry Jones. I will say this, making that trade gives you Executive of the Year talk. You should be in the Executive of the Year conversation. I know that much. Tommy Canazza saying the NFC East will now have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin and Deebo Sanders, and the Giants will have Malik Neighbors and nobody. But that's why I think the Giants are going to be the team that zigs while everyone else zags, right? They're going to be the team that's going to build themselves on defense. I like the Giants' defense, and again, we know the premiums are in 3 spots. Quarterback, protecting the quarterback, and getting to the quarterback. The Giants have put all their money, all their draft capital, all of their eggs in the basket of we want to get to the quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys have made their offensive line better to protect against that. They have given their quarterback weapons to protect against that. And it's the same thing with Philadelphia. It's the same thing with Washington. These teams are saying we're protecting our quarterback and we're going to get options. We're going to get weapons for the quarterback to throw to. I would put Pickens and CeeDee Lamb ahead of Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel just because you don't know what version of Deebo Samuel you're going to get. I want to put them. You know what? We're doing it, Tommy. I'm doing it right now. We are going to put the Dallas Cowboys receiving core of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens ahead of the receiving core of Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. The reason why is because all of last year you heard the rumblings of how A.J. Brown isn't getting along with Jalen Hurts. One small thing goes wrong on that sideline, and it can implode everything. Winning is a beautiful concealer for what negative things come out of your team. And the Eagles going on that playoff run were able to conceal the ugly blemishes that are inside that locker room. What happens this year whenever the Eagles struggle? What happens this year whenever the Eagles maybe have that Super Bowl hangover like they had a couple of years back and don't even make the playoffs? What happens then? And I'll tell you what happens. The Dallas Cowboys are sitting pretty with zero pressure on them whatsoever. All the pressure is on Washington to get back to the NFC Championship game and do better. All the pressure is on the Philadelphia Eagles to defend your Super Bowl championship. The Dallas Cowboys sitting back pretty Best case scenario for most people, they're the third place team in the league, in the division. Third place team in the division. Their over-under is still 7.5 points or 7.5 games. That's the over-under on wins for the Dallas Cowboys. 7.5 wins. I'm hammering the over on that one. This team has no pressure on them whatsoever, where the pressure is on everyone else in that division. Tommy Canassa saying, I do agree with you on the Giants defense. They are building something special on that side of the ball. They aren't there now, but I could see them being a top 5 defense in the next couple of years. A.J. Brown and George Pickens are the same type of problem. And then Tommy Canassa saying, I have major expectations right now. As a fan, I think you should. As a fan, the Cowboys did what Jerry Jones said he was going to do. They gave you hope. But if you look around the rest of the league, the Cowboys' Super Bowl odds didn't change at all. Their win-loss over-under didn't change at all. The league is looking at this as a nothing trade. And I think that right there is going to be dangerous for the rest of the league. All right, everybody, I want to thank you so much for tuning into today's show. We will be back tomorrow. It's a TIP VIP Friday. I hope to see you all there. We'll put the link out there. Hopefully we get some people tuning in to the show, asking some questions. I know my guy Augustine is going to be joining me tomorrow as well. Remember, on Saturday, Fire and Ice at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive. They've got a whole bunch of specials. I have them written down on this piece of paper right here. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. I might be going out to Buffalo Wild Wings today just to get myself some of those all-you-can-eat wings. $24.99 for Tommy's favorite bone-in wings. Tommy Canassa saying, see you later, Tip. Hit the like and share button on your way out. There you go, everyone. That's the only way we grow the show. Like and share. Please like and share, whether you're doing it on YouTube, Facebook, however it is that you're doing it. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. We will see you all tomorrow on The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. You all know there are hundreds of betting sites out there, but don't be fooled. Some sites are legal in some states only. Some sites pay in Bitcoin, and some sites have even been hacked. However, BetUS has been in business for over 30 years. They have future bets that are paying out in the thousands, and there's still time for you to bet on the Super Bowl, the National Championship, and even the NBA Championship. Just use the QR code right here, and it will take you to the BetUS site. BetUS. Check it out and bet responsibly. Are you a fellow car guy? I have a 2008 Ford Mustang GT convertible, and nothing makes me happier in that car than when it's nice and clean. And you know who helps me get there? RevAutoCarCare.com. They help me get that pony looking as nice and shiny and ready for any of the car meetups that are all around the great city of El Paso. Spoil your car and go to RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton and view all the inventory they have and find out what works for you to help make your ride shine. RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton. Use promo code Tipton33 at checkout to save 15%.